Thank you very much, Mr. Brady. These broadband debates, I'm not sure they're cathartic, but there is an unleashing of frustration from every MP. And I don't know, I sit here more frustrated by the end than I am at the start. And I think that's for a number of reasons. Let me, first of all, congratulate the honourable member for Orkney and Shetland for securing the debate. Although they are challenging to sit through, because I think we don't focus enough on the reality of what's happening and the challenges in terms of fixing it, every time we discuss it, I think it's beneficial. And it undoubtedly is one of the biggest issues for our constituency. I think we should always level set where we're at. This frustration we have in terms of lack of coverage stems with the pragmatism, the understandable pragmatism that was behind the BDUK contracts of stretching the money as far as it could and the 95% premise targets. That leaves people behind. Right? And we should have foreseen this earlier, and there should have been attempts earlier to fill the gap. But that's why we all get frustrated with BT, but actually unjustifiably so a lot of the time, because they will deliver on their overarching contracts. What I would like to focus on in my time is some of the specifics of what the government is doing and where there are questions still outstanding, because we know the strategy is, of course, the BDUK scheme, that there is then following on the USO. So I'd like to talk on the USO. I'd like to talk on fibre investment. I'd like to quickly touch on rates and vouchers. One of the things that hasn't been discussed today, the USO is meant as the catch-all to fill the gap for the 5%. But Ofcom published its last report in December, and it put forward 3 scenarios to the government. And to my knowledge, and the Minister, I'm sure, will correct me if I'm wrong, we have yet to hear an official response to this. Scenario 1, so the USO would be 10 meg, simple download. Scenario 2 was 10 meg, but with more specifications around latency and an upload speed of 1 meg. And scenario 3 was a 30 meg download speed. Now, the regulator is at pains to point out that a decision on what we do here rests with government. There are political decisions to be made about the infrastructure that we want. I'll happily give way.
I'm grateful to the honourable gentleman for giving way. And just to find one of the frustrations that I have, that when you think you've got your finger on it, you can think it's government, you go and blame Ofcom. You get round to Ofcom, they're blaming government, they're blaming the companies. And there's this Bermuda triangle of blame that goes on, and you just can't get all 3 corners together.
I thank my honourable friend for that contribution. I think there is a topic in this that we should address more fully in a future debate. There is too much, in my view, outsourcing of policy decisions to Ofcom. A lot of these decisions are political. Sometimes I joke with my honourable friend, he's like the MP for the Faroe Isles. But the reality is the Faroe Isles have the coverage they have because they took a political decision that they wanted a level of coverage, and they took then the policy decisions to deliver on it. We could do the same, but we don't. And what we tend to do is there's a pragmatism. Well, it's going to cost a lot of money. How important is it? Well, we'll ask Ofcom and we'll shape the answer. And, well, actually, Ofcom suggested this and recommended this. Yes, I'll give way.
Most of us would think of 10 megs as an absolute luxury. It's a dream that we aspire to. But in reality, given the rapid change in the usage at the moment, is 10 megs actually, are we going to be having back here again in 5 years, having an argument about 10 meg? The government will have fulfilled its obligations and ticked the box, but actually won't have cured any of the particular problems we're facing.
I think that's an absolutely excellent point. I'd like to go on to why I think 10 meg is would be the wrong decision. And what Ofcom are saying, let me read this. In designing any intervention, government may want to consider the extent it should be designed to take into account future growth in broadband usage. Doing so could help to ensure that consumers and businesses that rely on the USO are not left behind. Such an approach could support both better value for money by intervening once and ensure that there is not a continual state of review, advice and reinvestment as requirements grow over time. If we go for 10 meg now, we are storing ourselves more trouble down the line. And let me jump ahead to one point that backs this up. I mean, there's been a lot of discussion about who will deliver the USO and a high probability that it will be given lock, stock and barrel to BT, something I think we need to be careful of. In itself. BT said in their response, existing technologies such as FTTC and new technologies like long-reach VDSL can offer cost-effective solutions for a 10 megabit service offering unlimited download. And here's the big but here. But would require further investment if the requirement increased significantly, e.g. to 30 meg. So we specify a USO at 10 meg. What happens when we want to change it to 30 meg? Let's have a look at what will happen with a USO, because a USO does not entitle you to free broadband. The telephony USO means if you do not have a telephony service, BT will provide it up to a cost of £3,400. Imagine that in the broadband world. And I don't have time today, but if you look at the detail within the Ofcom paper, it spells out different thresholds. So all of us with constituents, and some of you may be saying the USO is going to fix everything for you, it might mean they're entitled to claim it, but it may give them a bill for thousands of pounds. And then imagine it only gives them a 10 meg service, and they go, well, actually, in the future, I want a 30 meg USO. They might have to pay for it again. So I think we have to be so careful how we implement this. I'm not going to talk today on how much bandwidth we should use. What I am going to say is we need to raise our ambition. The government needs to put money into this instead of trying to do it on the cheap. The Scottish Government, the Honourable Member for Orkney and Shetland, should rest assured the Scottish Government is committed with R100 to 100% super fast, 30 meg. The UK Government, the Minister has great ambitions around fibre. The UK Government should step up and do the same. I'm not sure how much time I have left, Mr Brady. Okay, I have run out. I wasn't sure. Okay, my apologies. Let me finish. It's always a pleasure when the former Minister is there. Let me make one final point, if I may then. As we look at fibre deployment and the idea of vouchers, I am fully behind vouchers, but it's critically important that vouchers do not lead to a trap where the rural schemes like schemes such as Barn, like want to happen in North Skye and in the borders, mustn't be opened so that any network can go on top, because it kills their business model. And I know that that is a big point of contention at the moment. So can we have vouchers? Can we have them open? Thank you for your time, Mr Brady. Let's ensure that the digital divide is closed, not cemented in through bad policy.
Louise Hay.